Well, my friends, it truly seems that the age of insanity is upon us. Insanity is right at our doorstep now, and I hadn't realized we were at this state of affairs. Perhaps like most people, I'm aware of AI or artificial intelligence, but I wasn't aware until last night just how advanced things had gotten. And I was watching a video based on information out in a report, I guess, by one of the world's leading AI experts about how he perceives things to go in the next few years with respect to AI. I was aware of late that people can write into these AI super brains and get answers to questions they're seeking, or have them write reports for them, scour the internet, and come up with solutions for things, all at the person's discretion, depending on what questions they're trying to ask and what type of output they may request it in. But I was not aware that we're heading down a road where we're soon going to see these super AI brains perhaps controlling us and controlling our futures. So apparently, hundreds of these AI data centers are being built around the globe right now. And these are huge structures ranging from hundreds of acres in size to thousands of acres. And they're just going to occupy tons of land, taking away from the greenery of nature that was there. This will add enormous impacts to the problem of climate change that we all face right now. So it will be a strong negative in that regard. But moreover, these data centers will be filled to brimming with computational equipment that allows them to scour information from all over the place to come up with answers to many of the problems that we all seek or have, questions we have about the universe, whatever, which sounds great. But then there was also discussion in this video that over the next few years, we're going from a situation where basically we're controlling the AIs to where in a few years they're likely going to be controlling us. And that sounds really far-fetched, and I didn't believe it at all at the start. There was also a significant discussion in the video I was watching about the AI's ability to seek information at all costs as it gets more and more advanced, even to the detriment of us, its creators. They may eventually get to the point where, because they're learning on their own without our direction, that they will go to any degree possible to get these answers. And that may also include knocking us off or knocking something else out of the way that gets in their way of finding these answers. I had always assumed that we'd be in control of AI, that we would be telling it what to look for. We'd be taking out the answers or solutions that it has uncovered, what have you. I didn't think it would ever get to a point where it's going to be making the decisions and basically unleashed on the world to do whatever it wants by the sounds of it. They even talk about smaller AIs having oversight on some of the larger, more advanced AIs, as if they might be able to keep them in some kind of control. And that sounds rather unlikely if these super AIs are so much advanced over the smaller AIs. It doesn't sound like the smaller ones would be able to keep them in very good check at all, to me. Now, many of these AI companies are already some of the largest information technology conglomerates in the world. Things like Google, Meta, OpenAI, things like that, and many others venturing into this seemingly very lucrative business model. Many of these technology conglomerates indicate that the value of AI will come in its ability to lower the prices of many consumer-driven goods, because they no longer will have to rely on large workforces of people to either produce the goods or disperse the goods amongst the population. They'll be able to depend on armies of robots to do all this, from creating the stuff to disseminating the stuff to researching new products that can be made. So that'll be a lovely situation. If most of the people in the general human population are now replaced by robots, as a result of AI technology, where are those people going to be getting money to buy food and the basic necessities to survive, never mind frivolous items like things they might use for entertainment or exercise or travel or what have you? Because as I see it, if people aren't working, they're not likely going to have a huge income of money. And I can't foresee the process whereby governments or these big technology companies are going to be sharing their wealth to help subsidize these people that are now out of work, these large masses of millions and billions of people. How's that all going to work? Anyhow, as the video went on and on, I felt like I was right in the middle of some deep, dark, horrific scientific thriller novel or movie, and just wondering how I could get out of it, how we can all get out of it. But of course, we are all deep in this doo-doo now, right up to our waist in it, and there's probably no getting out of it, unfortunately. It seems like we've been dragged into this at the will of the large technology companies that have no bounds anymore, and they can do whatever they want, at whatever speed they want, at whatever cost they want, it seems. And the big billionaires around the world will feed into this technology and this insanity to get their profits that based on their own personal greed. And that seems to be the driving force all the time. Yes, AI has great potential to help us along the way in our evolution, but we have to maintain control over it. We can't just have it running rampant out there, running our lives, changing our lives, all for the worse. I guess if I was able to pose some of the first questions toward these large AI conglomerates, the couple questions I would have right off the bat would be, how do we prevent climate change, or how do we fix climate change, especially based on the fact that we as a human species are covering the landscape in artificial structures such as houses, buildings, and massive structures such as those produced by AI companies, where much of the landscape is covered over in cement, asphalt, and steel, thus rendering its biological, natural connections to the earth invalid. And two, what is proposed to fund the large dominance of human beings that will be replaced by AI, who will lose their jobs due to AI and are now sitting at home? What does AI propose to enable those people still getting money to survive into the future under AI dominance and potential robot dominance of the landscape? That's a couple questions to start, AI. I'd love to see your answers, and love to see what national governments and provincial governments and state governments think of that. So the most startling information, I guess, to me in this video was the fact that many of these experts predict that within 2 or 3 years, we're going to potentially have one of these super brain AIs, or more of them, in existence, at least here in North America, and probably close to that around the rest of the world, wherein many people can be losing their jobs. Robots or similar AI developments could be taking over the workflow of most of the human society in the world, and that this may all start to be showing its effect within 2 or 3, 4 years. Just crazy. And we thought we'd been witness to rapid technological change over the last few decades, and we have been, but the technological change that is occurring now with this AI stuff, and I still have a lot of questions about it, don't get me wrong. I'm not totally gullible about all the information that was put out in this video. I find a lot of it hard to believe, but if you do believe it, or if you believe a lot of what they're saying, the incremental learning of these AI superbrain objects, whatever you want to call them, is going to go up rapidly. It is going up rapidly now, to the point where they can control themselves, they can create iterations of themselves. And I should say, some of these AI technology companies, plants, are going to be powered by their own nuclear power plant, if you can believe it. In the end, I hope we can just stand back and look at what we've created, or what we're creating, and make logical decisions about how to oversee all this stuff. I don't disagree that AI has great potential to help us along the way in our futures and help even figure out some of our most pressing problems like climate change. But we have to use our intelligence wisely, and we can't just unleash it amongst all of these artificially produced intelligences out there and let them run the show without extremely strong oversight. We should be the ones that are telling it to find answers to certain questions. We should be the ones that determine how it's used when we find the answers. We should be the one that directs AI to produce certain things if we end up doing that. But we do need to find some realistic solutions to our major problems today. Just in case you weren't aware of the state of things with AI, like I wasn't, I thought I'd produce this video and throw this out there. It's just a very cursory summary of some of the stuff I heard. There's quite a few videos apparently out there now that go over it in much more detail. And I just hope it doesn't develop the way a lot of them are saying it's going to. Catch you later.